Hello everybody and welcome to another video. I hope you can hear us okay. Hopefully. If you could let us know in the comments that you can hear us, that'd be great. Hello everybody and welcome to another video. I hope you can hear us okay. Hopefully. If you could let us know in the comments that you can hear us.
Hi everyone, nice to see you joining us in the car today. Thank you. I can see Alan, Mark, Angus and Iceby aka P77 I said loud and clear. I'll go back to, thank you for that, and I'll go back and just start reading some of the comments while we're driving out of Hastings. Where are we? Alan Howard said, looking forward to this live drive, Tony, Sarah and Pippa. Thank you. G6ZNW said, wonder if it's via the A21 or a more interesting route.
It is the A21. Yeah, unfortunately it's a bit boring, but it's the most direct route.
And Susie Foster said, hello Anthony fans.
Hello Susie.
Alan Howard said, ready and waiting guys, yay, here we go. And G6ZNW, is that Stan? Did I remember that right? Said good evening. Michelle Simpson said hi.
Hello.
Hi Michelle. And then thanks everyone for letting us know you could hear us. And X Signal also said, hearing you loud and clear, thanks. Mary Derman said loud and clear. Iceby aka P77 I said, evening all. Oh, hi B. It's as though the mic is a bit echoey. Paul Murphy said, hi Tony. I can always hear you, haha, and hi Sarah. Hello Paul. Are we going A21, said Stan. And Vinnie M's here and said, hi Tony and Sarah. Hope you've got aircon in the car. Evie said it's a bit of a tinny sound, and yes it is Stan. Hello Stan. Paul Chapman said, to Tony and wife, when are you coming over to Sheen so I can say hello to you both? Not sure yet Paul.
Yeah, we'll have to think about that one, how we can put it in.
Vinnie M said, so what have you had to eat today?
Not a lot. Both of us not a lot.
No, I've been working today and not had much for a break, so looking forward to dinner I think. And Ibby said, just come back from Folkestone Car Show. I walked down to the Harbour Arm and past the Grand Hotel. And Alan's asking how your weekend's been, Tony.
It's okay, been very busy. Not working as such, but with the grandson coming over and doing bits and bobs, getting stuff ready for this, doing a bit of editing and all that for future episodes. Yeah, not a lot of driving though, or bike riding.
Simon Mitchener's just joined and said, afternoon Sarah. Oh, and a token nod to the grumpy git beside you.
Do you mean me?
So you can see we're just going through Hastings. Quite a lot of shops there, but lots of units shut down, same as every high street, I guess. Stan asked if we got to the Hastings Aquarium.
No, we didn't.
We sort of walked around a little bit. We were looking for lunch actually when we were there and fancied some chips, but wherever we went we couldn't actually find a chip shop that was open. It was midweek, mind you, so we ended up eating a slice of pizza on the pier.
And see this cyclist going through the red light there? I don't know, I think there's probably a little bit of delay on everyone's internet speed as well, where you're at and where we're at. But yeah, a cyclist just went through a red light to our left hand side.
Michelle said the Simpsons have been on a bike ride around our local park. I think we've got the riding bug, but am sweating our bits off now. Laugh out loud.
Go and have a shower, dirty girl.
IceB, aka P77 said, wow, you've been on a bike ride. Have you been on a bike ride recently?
I have not, well, probably last week now was the last one I did, which I really need to buck my ideas up and do a bit more. Because I need to do a bit more fitness.
Willie Russell said, good evening, Tony and Sarah, and all who are watching. Hi, Willie.
Hello.
Alan Howard said, when you approach a roundabout sign, what is the brake on the bottom right for? He said, when you approach a roundabout sign, what is the brake on the bottom right for?
Oh. I'm sure someone else can answer that one. I do. Oh, I can't remember. What it is.
Simon Mitchner said, 50 watching and 10 likes. Must do better. Well, for every 50 of you here, thanks for joining us.
Indeed. On a bank holiday Monday. It's a bit weird because what we're watching it on, we can't hear the sound at all. We can't hear the sound of the car. I know we haven't got an engine in the car as such, but you can normally hear road noise, but we can't even hear that.
Mary Dermond said, just cooking my tea while watching. And Michelle said, I'm showered, Tony, laugh out loud.
She thinks so too.
Simon Mitchner said, does Alan Howard mean the accelerator? And Alan has said, it's for foreign drivers to make sure they don't go round the roundabout the wrong way. IceB, aka P77 said, I can hear birds chirping. And Ibby said, read the brake in the roundabout sign. It's to show that you can't go round in an anti-clockwise direction.
Makes sense. Might be easier watching from this one.
And Stan said, it's just the design of the signs. Oh, and Simon said to Alan, oh yeah, knew that but didn't catch the reference.
That way we can. I'm tinkering as we're going along with the computer and everything. Hopefully we can listen to the sound of the road and stuff. Otherwise we're in total silence here. I think I've cracked it now.
Nice wide roads coming out there. Nice to see the trees. I noticed, Stephen, where we are, some of the trees are just starting. It's autumn coming and the tops of the trees, the leaves are turning brown. I shall miss summer. John FH said, good to follow your journey. It's soon time for a microwave chicken curry and rice. Warm greetings from Stockholm. I've got a friend who's in Stockholm at the moment. Hope everything's going well for you there, John. Stephen Ollie said, afternoon, you two. When doing a bike video, would you do a history ride around the area you lived in during World War II? If we both love your videos.
I'd have to do quite a lot of research for that one. Yeah, it's not a bad idea. I could do a live bike ride. Yeah, could do something like that.
I could help with a history bit, because I'm
Yeah.
a big London history buff, so
Bit of variety.
to help with that.
Yeah, they're all good ideas for the channel, which I'm always open to different stuff for the channel.
Thanks for that, Stephen. And Alan Howard said, ain't the design of the sign stand, it's to serve a purpose. Simon said, if it's too quiet at your end, Tony, we might hear the cracking of the seal as you open a bottle of vodka.
Oh, that was last night. I cracked it open last night. I've still got about half a bottle left. But you don't know the size of the bottle, I guess.
Are you going to do a bike video at night, Michelle has asked?
No, probably not at night, because the cameras are not great at night, no matter what camera you use. Although when I'm on the bike, I've got an Insta360 Ace Pro, which is very good at night. But I don't do a lot of night driving neither, because it's not as clear.
Alan Howard said it's the same as other road signs. When you see road numbers in brackets, it indicates you can get to that road from where you're at. Bet you didn't know that. Ibby said, maybe it's just me, but is this drive actually live or just the chat? The date is June the 13th and time around 2:20 PM, similar to the previous one.
Yeah, the drive is pre-recorded. We've done it. It's unedited. You won't miss anything on the forward camera. The only way we could get it nice and clear for you is to pre-record it and then just play it through an app called Prism. Obviously the chat is live because we're answering you live, but the bit that you're watching is pre-recorded. Otherwise it was fading out. We were relying on phone signal and everything else, and I watched a few of them back, and the quality of them was really poor, really hard to watch. And I'm amazed that so many of you actually stayed with it when the video quality was really poor. But I'm hoping that you're seeing this how we're seeing it on our computer at the moment, and it's actually quite good. Yeah, so that's the reason why we pre-record them now, just basically because of video quality.
Where are we? Stephen Ollie said, cheers, sorry, Stephen said, cheers, thanks, looking forward to seeing it. Rattle Cage said, can you drive like you stole it for 5 minutes? Willie Russell said, Tony, are you going to get an e-tandem so you can take Sarah around on one of your bike rides? I wouldn't get on one, to be honest with you. We joked about that last time, Willie, but I don't think I'd be a good fellow tandem bike rider.
No, I can't see it myself.
Stan said, some electric cars are designed to make some noise to stop the driver nodding off.
Yeah, mine makes a whirring noise. It's a horrible noise, but you can turn it off. They do make a noise, but you shouldn't really be able to turn them off. But if they were more engine sounding, you wouldn't mind so much. But it's a horrible, almost a light screamy noise that my one makes. I always turn it off as soon as I get in the car.
It reminds me of the sound of fairground ride starting.
Yeah.
Where are we?
But the car itself isn't greatly insulated, so you do get quite a lot of noise from the outside. When you drive really fast, even though the car is making hardly any noise at all, outside you can hear in the car pretty well. You know, it's not great insulated car.
Paul Murphy said, no relation to this live drive. I'm up north, so I say tea, not dinner. I'm sure you'll know what I mean. Laugh out loud.
It's dinner. It's dinner. It's not tea. You drink tea.
Iceby, aka P77, said, got given a small bottle of rum from Wales, made from seaweed. Might crack that open later. Simon Mitchner said to Michelle Simpson, it might be dangerous, all those light reflecting off of Tony's head, blinding the other road users. And Ibby's just said, okay, thank you. I think that was about you describing the drive.
Yeah.
Leanne0811 said, I also took a drive to the coast today, went to the Isle of Purbeck and Swanage. That sounds really nice. Don't think I've been to either of those places, but I think Swanage is where they've a lot of people go diving, and I think they used to have a fire engine there, an old fire engine that kids could play on, but I might have got that wrong. Alan Howard said, if you want to see how bad cyclists are with red lights, watch YouTube London Bus Journey channel called Wanderism, and you'll see plenty of them.
When I get time, I'm going to take the bike into central London and show you it from the other side. Show you how many there is that actually just ignore the lights. It's amazing how many do it. But I think you'll see it better if I'm on a bike.
And Ibby's just said, how's your pronunciation today of the Welsh place? Are you going to give that a go, Tony?
No, never in a million years am I going to give that a go. Go at the end, though, isn't it? That's about as far as I'm getting.
And Alan said, I wish the heck I had a bike again. The nearest post office to me is 2 miles away from me. And Ibby said, and yes, I did copy and paste. And Simon said to Ibby, yeah, I guessed. Vinnie M said, no, it's breakfast, dinner and tea. Another northerner here, laugh out loud.
No, breakfast, lunch, dinner.
And Michelle said, well said, Paul, I totally agree with you, it's tea.
See, you're all above Watford, aren't you? You're all above Watford, and that's classed as northerners. Seeing you all talk funny for starters.
X Signal said, definitely dinner for me, and I'm a northerner. Mark Challoner said, I'm addicted to seaweed. I think I need to seek help. Oh, seek help. Very good, Mark. Mary Derman said, if you turn the noise off, blind people are unaware there's an electric vehicle moving. And Alan just said to Ibby to Alan said, I watch Wanderism too. And Alan said, good channel, Ibby. Simon laugh out loud to Mark as well.
By the way, that even when you turn the noise off, the car isn't actually silent. You can actually hear the wheels and all of that sort of stuff going around. It isn't total silence.
And Peterborough's car scene said, hello, Tony.
Hello.
And Vinnie M said, yeah, take your bike into London. You may bump into cycling Mikey. Haha.
Yeah, literally.
And Alan Howard wants to know, have you learned Geordie yet, Tony?
YI is about it. As far as I go, I'm afraid.
Jono said, Hastings to Hackbridge. I bet you end up in Lidl. I think we did that day, actually.
Yeah.
We do most days, actually, to be fair. Leanne0811 said, breakfast, lunch and dinner, since you have a lunch break at work.
There you go.
Peterborough's car scene said, oh my God, did you know that cycling Mickey chuck his bike at a Fiat 500?
Yeah, I saw the video. Yeah, he shouldn't have done that, but the guy should never be driving down a one-way street or a no entry. It wasn't a one-way, it was a no entry. The guy was driving down a no entry street and then drove off after he smashed into Mikey's bike. He just drove off. And Mikey didn't report it, funny enough. I don't know why he didn't report it. If anything, someone driving straight into your bike, going down a no entry, you've got to report that one, surely. ISB, aka
P77I, said breakfast, dinner and tea.
No.
Mark Challoner said, I call it dinner and I'm from Kent.
There you go, see south.
Leanne0811 said, I'm most definitely a southerner, live less than 2 miles from the English Channel. And Paul Chapman said, to Tony and Sarah, it is correct to say breakfast, lunch and dinner.
Of course it is.
And Simon said, pretty much the same to Leanne, even if I was born a Geordie. Gary Moore said, hi guys, check out the Lancashire Hot Pots. They've a song on the very subject of breakfast, dinner and tea. We might do that after this video, Gary. Ibby said, I'm always impressed by Tony's driving, or as Tony sometimes says sarcastically, quality bit of driving there, mate, in a Michael Caine accent.
It's not a Michael Caine accent, it's my own accent. I don't do accents.
Michelle Simpson said, what time is brunch where you're from?
Well, brunch is when you miss breakfast, isn't it? And you sort of like have it as a lunch at the same time. It's the two mixed together. So around about sort of 11, 12ish, you would have brunch.
And Mark Tyler said, good afternoon, just on a quick break between helicopter flights. And Peterborough's car scene said, oh my God, Tony, you actually talked to me. It's me, Lila, the girl with autism.
Layla. It's pronounced,
Layla,
yeah.
I beg your pardon, Layla.
Yeah.
Simon Mitchner said, breakfast, lunch and tea for me. Dinner is later if eaten.
I always talk to you, Layla. You know that.
And Vinny M said, have you ever heard of a chippy tea? Laugh out loud. Neil Brown said, I don't care what it's called as long as I eat.
Exactly, yeah.
Pretzel the Elephant said, breakfast, lunch, dinner always. Keep up the good work.
Well, you get a lunchtime menu in a restaurant, don't you? And you get a dinner menu. You don't get a tea menu in a restaurant, do you? I know we come up with one in the last one. It's the school dinner ladies, and that's lunchtime where you're having it. But yeah, not for me. It's lunch. It's dinner.
By a garden centre there that had loads of sheds. We need a shed.
We do need a shed to put all these bikes in.
Simon Mitchner said, call me anything you like, but don't call me late for dinner. Richie B said, hi Sarah and Tony, breakfast, lunch and dinner for me. Loving your vids. All the best, Richie. Thank you, Richie.
Thank you.
Alan said, Sarah, you missed mine. Oh, let me go back and see if I can find it. Sorry about that, Alan. I saw the one where you said, have you learned Geordie yet, to Tony? And he's not.
No, she's done a...
Sorry if I missed that. Ibby said, sorry about the accent thing there, Tony. Not a lot of people know that. And Alan Howard said the Bobby Thompson comment. No, sorry, I missed that, Alan.
No, it hasn't come up on our thing here. On our chat room.
Layla said, oh my God, I'm so happy you made my day, Tony. And X Signal said, dinner party, definitely an evening event, just saying. And Christopher Duran said, when you were at school, where did you eat in the middle of the day? And who looked after you while you were eating? And Michelle Simpson said, where are you putting your new e-bikes?
At the moment, they're all over the place.
Ibby said, is there anything else you feel like bringing up apart from dinner? And Paul Chapman said, to Sarah and Tony, don't take any notice of what other people say. It will always be breakfast, lunch and dinner.
We're going to do the scones and scones in a minute.
I saw on the road then, the speed is written in red on the road with, is that a new thing?
I didn't see that.
So where you've got a circle with the number round.
Yeah.
The actual road was painted red, not in this bit, a little bit further back. I don't know what that was about. Neil Brown said, love the channel and the bike stuff, keep it up.
Cool, thank you.
Stan said, the route you're on I could do with my eyes closed. In fact, I'm sure I've done it at times. Layla said, guys, I'm Tony's therapist. I be a good girl and look after him. And Gary Moore said, after officially learning is breakfast, dinner, tea, Lancashire hot pots. We will look at that later, Gary. Check out the song Egg, Sausage, Chips and Beans. And Richie B said, that one's easy as scone. Simon Mitchner, Peterborough's to Layla said, you have my sympathy. And Vinny M said, we'll be arguing next. Is it barn or bap? Haha.
Or cream or jam. What goes on first?
The outliner said, for me it's scone rhyming with cone. And Paul Weaver said, hi, what's this channel about?
Bikes.
Or dinner. It seems to be.
Food, drink, bikes, cars, whatever you want to talk about.
Gary Moore said scone as in gone, laugh out loud. And X Signal said scone to rhyme with con. Layla said, what's sympathy mean? I only little. Ibby's just said, whenever you're in Folkestone, do you get a message on your mobile saying welcome to France? I did today, but don't have roaming turned on and end up with no reception until I move about the area. Ibby, we do actually, and it's not linked to anywhere in particular. It just seems to be randomly, maybe because of the weather, don't know how it works, but quite often we get a welcome to France. And on a clear day you can see France really clearly. I don't know what it was like there today. I wonder if you could see the French coastline. Yeah, very clear. And Gary Hollingsworth just said, that one's easy, Tony, jam then cream.
What do you do?
Me, I do jam then cream, yeah. And Alan Howard said, when you go for bread, ask the baker for a fadge, see what they say. Will do. Paul Weaver said it's breakfast, lunch and dinner for those who work on work days, and breakfast, dinner and tea on a Sunday.
That's not confusing at all, is it?
Not Sunday lunch. Vinnie M said scone until you've eaten it, then it's gone.
Hey.
Very good. Raymond said, I'm with Vinnie on this, legend. Stan said, I had all the tea wagons on speed dial. I'd phone up one when 20 minutes out and order very crispy bacon rolls. Put them on now and take them off when I get there. Beautiful, very tasty. Cool, you had it really sorted out, didn't you, Stan? Simon Mitchner said, I have to say to Ibby, you are very welcome to France. Iceby, aka P77I said, do you have gravy or curry sauce with your fish and chips? Not tartar?
I don't mind a bit of curry sauce on chips, to be honest. It's quite nice, but not with fish.
Or gravy?
Gravy. The gravy I quite like on chips as well, but not again with fish.
With fish and chips, no.
Just on chips on its own, yeah.
John O said, growing up around Hackbridge on a Sunday, we had a Sunday dinner at 2 p.m. and then at 6 p.m. get cockles and winkles next to the goat pub, if that's still there. Yeah, it sure is still there, Jono, but it's not called the Goat anymore. It's actually an Indian restaurant, I think.
It's called something else. I can't remember what it's called.
It will come back to me. I think it's called the Crown of Morden or something like that now. But the seafood store is still there. Yeah, definitely still there.
Getting back to food, fish and chips up north. You do a steak and kidney pudding, didn't you, up north? We don't do that down here. I wish we did, because that you have gravy with, and it's lovely. Last time I was up north, we had that, or I had that. Oh, lovely. Steak and kidney pudding and chips with gravy.
Not pie.
No, it's pudding, not pie. Pies we have down here, but up north they have steak and kidney puddings, like steamed puddings. Lovely, absolutely. Oh, really nice.
Mark Tyler said, jam or cream makes no difference when you swallow, it's all mixed up.
Yep, it all tastes the same, that's for sure.
And then Gary Moore said, cream, then jam. Alan Howard said, or how about a Tyneside singing hinny?
I don't know what that is.
I've got a friend getting married in Newcastle today. Michelle Simpson said, I thought only posh people say lunch.
Definitely not. I say lunch, and I'm not very posh. You might have guessed.
And said, talking of baked goods, I've lost loads of weight by wearing bread on my head. It's a low-fat diet. That's a good one. That's a good one. Raymond said, what Gary said, cream is more akin to butter or marge than jam. I'll go cream first.
Yeah.
Well, that depends how much cream you like, really, isn't it? That's why I put jam first. Paul Weaver said, it's cream on top of jam, but when I turn the scone upside down and eat it just to be me and not following the others. Ibby said to Simon, oh yeah, very witty play on words. Welcome to France. Michelle Simpson said, parsley sauce or curry sauce with fish and chips.
With fish and chips? Probably neither. Just salt and vinegar, to be honest. Maybe a bit of tartar sauce.
Ketchup?
Nah, not on fish and chips.
Simon Mitchner said, thank you, Ibby, I do my best. And Vinnie M said, anyway, getting back to the driving stuff, any issues on the way home, Tony?
Not that many. No, not really. I don't think so. We've had one right at the beginning where a Tesla came out of the wrong way. There is one a little bit further up where someone actually just pulls out onto this road, onto this A21, where they don't have to. Empty road behind me. I'm not you know what, I don't know how I edited this. I don't know if I actually showed the road behind me to show how empty it was, and yet they had to pull out in front of the vehicle in front of me. We'll have to see. I can't remember what I did yesterday, never mind back in June.
Iceby, aka P77I, said, yeah, lovely. And Alan Howard said, steak and kidney pudding and gravy, absolutely divine.
Indeed, really nice.
Simon Mitchner said, oh, my mum did a mean steak and kidney pudding. And Paul Weaver said, gravy with chips, and I'm a southerner with a northern family ties. Gary Moore said, good old Frey Bentos steak and kidney suet puddings in a tin. Stephen Ollie said, what about a potato cake from the Chippy too? Don't think I've seen them down here.
No, that's what I mean. Up north it is a little bit different. The ones that I had, they had like a steamer sort of thing on the counter with all the fish and chips and everything, and loads of people were having these steak and kidney puddings. Normally it was the southerners that were having them, because we don't have that down here. We have fish and chips and saveloy and all that sort of stuff, and pies, but not the meat pudding.
Mark Tyler said, are your windows open? There's a lot of road noise. They might have been, actually.
I think they were open, yeah, because it was boiling on the day we did this. It was really hot.
Alan Howard said, a singing hinny is a form of bun. I didn't know that. Neil Brown said, went to the football at Liverpool, chips and onion gravy, best ever. And Gary Moores to Paul Weaver said, me too, that was about gravy with chips. Stan said, egg and bacon roll, but make sure the egg is very well done, otherwise it gets very messy.
Oh, you've got to have it messy. I love it messy, all running everywhere. Yeah. Completely opposite for me. I like the egg runny, so it runs everywhere. Makes it right messy your hands, you're licking your hands and everything.
Yeah, but maybe if Stan was driving...
You should be eating and driving, should you?
Ibby said, back in Vancouver, a work colleague sent a furious email to the entire department demanding, who stole my loaf of bread? Oh, hold on, sorry, the screen jumped. Who stole my loaf of bread? The irony was that his last name was Baker. We all had a chuckle. And Paul Weaver said, use your loaf, man, think about it. Raymond said, Tony, what do you class as up north? North of Watford or Brum or what?
Well, north of Watford, really, for us lot down here. Not really, but it's a little bit higher up than Watford.
And Paul Weaver said, frog's legs or chicken legs?
I don't think I've ever had frog. Where have I can't recall having frog legs. Unless we did it on a cruise. Did I have frog legs on a cruise once?
Don't know. I remember them being on the menu, but I don't know if you had them. You had soft shell crab.
Yeah, I've got to say chicken because I don't think I've ever had frog legs.
Alan Howard said, best thing with fish and chips is mushy peas and salt and vinegar, no lemon on the side.
Yep.
Gary Moore said, remember the boil in the bag cod in sauce for tea?
Oh, yeah, not many.
Used to be a cheap meal, but they're extortionate now.
Yeah.
Although Lidl do rather not too expensive one, but on the bigger scheme of things it is dear. Paul Weaver said, pickled eggs, that's 2 of them, and chips. Stan said, I always mix mash with some Marmite. Yummy. Never done that before. Got to try that, Stan.
Boiling the bag.
Sounds nice with a bit of cheese in there as well. Would be lovely. Michelle Simpson said, what's a potato cake? And Paul Chapman said, to Sarah and Tony, I prefer steak pie. Hate kidney. Horrible. Ibby said to Mark Tyler, I was wondering the same thing about road noise. Iceby, aka P77, I said, do you have scallops down south?
Yeah.
Law-abiding citizen, liver and onions and mash. Paul Weaver said, cheese, potato and onion pie is not a pie with a crust, but that is what it's called.
So many people don't eat liver because they don't like the look of it when it's raw, but when you cook it, it takes a total different texture. You just got to try it. It's really nice. You've got to have it with brown sauce though for me.
And Gary Moore said, snake and pygmy pie, laugh out loud. John O said, I'm from Hackbridge and the missus is from Barnsley. She likes Yorkshire fish cake, chips and mushy peas. Mushy peas, yuck, haha.
Everyone said I should start a new bike channel. I think I should start a new food channel by the way this is going.
Paul Weaver said, law-abiding citizen, yeah, that's my number 1. Michelle Simpson said, I'm from the West Midlands, so I wouldn't say I'm a northerner. Gary Moore said, north is anything north of the Watford Gap, isn't it? Laugh out loud.
That's what we normally say, yeah, us Londoners say that, yeah.
And Ibby said, are those Green Hut London taxi drivers cafes still a thing? I've heard the public can order food from the counter but not allowed in, as it's just for cabbies.
That's exactly right, yeah, they are. There's not many of them no more, but the public are not allowed in, and not unless you're a taxi driver and you got your badge to show. And I mean a proper taxi driver, not a private hire driver. You got to have done the knowledge. But a normal member of the public can go to the kiosks at the front and order the same food. And I've never done it myself, but apparently it's good food. All the cabbies rave about it anyway.
Raymond said, but Michelle, I would, laughing out loud. And X Signal said, on the topic of electric vehicles, how do you like the regenerative braking? I bought my first EV earlier this year and just can't get used to the regen braking, so I tend to leave it turned off. Any tips?
Well, on my one, there's 3 different settings. I've got 1, 2 or 3. I have it on 2, which if I have it on 3, it's really harsh. It brakes like you've actually hit your brakes when you haven't. So I always have it on number 2, which is a bit more of a gentle one. You do get used to it. And funny enough, when you take it off and you drive without it, then it's like, whoa, you take your foot off the accelerator and nothing happens. You don't slow down, so you do get used to the car stopping on its own. Yes, yeah, you get used to it. I actually quite like it. It saves on the brake pads.
Paul Weaver said, cottage pie or shepherd's pie?
Shepherd's pie, for me.
What's the difference though? Isn't one made with beef mince and one made with lamb mince?
I think so, yeah.
Stan said, I put Marmite on most things savoury, been doing that since I were but a lad. Simon to Paul Weaver said, either is good. And Paul Weaver said, Marmite to Stan, Marmite, yes. Alan Howard said, I don't like the taste of liver, yuck. Tastes like, well, I think you know what I mean. Ibby said, this is obviously not the vegan edition of Live Chat.
No.
And Stan said, Paul Weaver, you said it, brother.
Yeah, and Sarah is a vegetarian, by the way.
And best place, Alan Howard said, best place for fish and chips for me was a chippy at North Shields Tyneside, right next to the fish pool where the fishing boats landed after being at sea. Couldn't be more fresh, I guess. We used to go to Selsey a lot, and on East Beach the fishing boats would come in the morning, and they had a little place where you could get the catch of the day called Julie's Fish Hut, I think.
Yeah.
And they always had, you know, different stuff every day. It's nice getting something when you know it's really, really fresh.
Totally fresh, was it? We had Huss. So nice.
It's like rock salmon, isn't it?
Yeah, so nice. It actually tastes, if you cook it and just leave it to cool down and put it in the fridge, it actually tastes and feels like jellied eels.
It is an eel, isn't it? It is kind of an eel.
But you know, it actually makes its own jelly as well. You know, and it's if you don't know what jellied eels are like, you know, people don't even try them. They look at them and think, "Oh, I'm not going to eat that." It tastes exactly like that, and looks like that with the bone right through the middle of it. And what you're supposed to do is literally, I know it sounds disgusting, suck the bone, and so you suck the fish right off the bone. Yeah, that's jellied eels. It is the London dashcam after all.
Where are we? Stan said shepherd's pie is lamb, cottage pie is beef. Kel said I was going to have salad for dinner, now all I want is chips. And Alan said the fish was the freshest in the northeast of England for obvious reasons, laugh out loud. So I'm just looking, it looks like there are 84 people on the back seat of the car this afternoon.
Cool.
So thanks everyone for joining in, and if you're a first time joiner-inner, you might think, what's this London dashcam about? It's a new food channel. All good fun though. You never know what you're going to chat about on a long car journey, do you?
No, you don't.
So there we go.
Are we there yet?
Stan said, winter boat comes in. Was that what you were going for there, Stan? Alan Howard said, can't get away with jellied eels after the way I've seen how they're made.
Yeah, but you don't worry about all that, do you? You just eat them. You wouldn't eat anything to do with meat if you saw how it got on the plate beforehand.
Michelle Simpson said, I used to like roe until I found out what it was. Not ate it since. And Paul Chapman said to Tony and Sarah, I just had my birthday last week. Now I'm 64, also like shepherd's pie or cottage pie. Happy birthday for last week being 64, Paul.
Yeah.
X-Signal said, thanks Tony, my car's regen braking has 2 settings, on or off.
All right.
But I keep trying it and see if I'll keep trying it and see if I like it any better. Gary Moore said, will it be chips or jacket spuds? Will it be salad or frozen bees? Will it be mushrooms, fried onion rings? We'll have to wait
and see. We hope it's chips, it's chips. We just lost 20 people out of the car for that song.
Pretzel the Elephant said 84 people, that's a lot of seatbelts. Simon Mitchner said, being driven about, wouldn't it be a fast food channel? Hey, that's not a bad one, Simon. Yeah. Alan Howard said, when the boat comes in was a Tyneside programme, not from Yorkshire. And Stan said, yes, a song, thou shalt have a fishy on a little dishy when the boat comes in. And Raymond said, yes, Michelle, cod roe. That was a little culture shock for me too. I think that used to come in a tin and they chopped it up into like big, like fat beef burger fish cake things and fried it in fish and chip shops, I think, maybe. Not that I had it. Vinnie M says, I try not to think about eggs, laugh out loud before I eat them. Alan Howard said, 84 people on this journey, intercity 125 needed. Just trying to work out where we are on the journey home, because I've been reading the messages. I've not looked at the journey. There's a place of interest there, some kind of, you know, the brown sign.
Yeah,
so,
we're coming to the place where we don't like, aren't we?
what, Tonbridge?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The bad memory place for us.
Where are we? Stan said, "You shall have a fishy on a little dishy, you shall have a fishy when the boat comes in. You shall have a herring on a little dishy, you shall have a herring when the boat comes in." And Jono said, "Tony and Sarah, the Millennium Fish Shop up Stanley Park Road do a really good fish and chips. Always pop in there when we come up to see the family from Bognor Regis." Oh, Jono, you're so lucky living in that part of the world. Very envious. And I don't think we've ever been to the. We don't often really go to Stanley Park Roadway.
Not often,
Not really. But a nice tip. We could check that out one day. Michelle Simpson said, "Same happened when I found out what black pudding was." And Ibby said, "Ever had a set of temporary lights permanently stuck on red and everyone making a relatively intelligent decision to go as safely through on a red?"
Yeah.
That's scary though.
That's been on the channel actually. Me doing it with a copper in front of me doing it as well, where it was stuck on red. But yeah, with black pudding as well. I always wonder who the hell thought of that. And to start off with, you know, it is actually really nice. But who thought of that idea to actually make it out of what it's made out of? Well, we all know it's blood, but
Probably waste not, want not, isn't it?
yeah, odd.
Stan said, "Dance to your daddy, my little laddie, dance to your daddy. My little man, dance to your daddy. Sing to your mummy, dance to your daddy, my little man." And Michelle Simpson said, "Mentioning eggs made me think, what came first, the chicken or the egg?" And Egg Signal said, "Michelle, you're definitely not a northerner if you don't like black pudding. Maybe you're okay with that." Sarah, "The old Prince Regent didn't say bugger Bognor for nothing, you know." Stan said, "That's one thing I won't eat, black pudding."
Just the one thing you don't eat?
Mark Challoner said, "Last night I dreamt I was frying eggs in a pan. Then I dreamt I was eating an omelette. I went from one extreme to another." That's a good one, Mark. Very good.
I don't do chilies. That's the only thing I don't do. I eat pretty much everything, but not chilies.
That's only because they seem to have made him stop breathing over recent.
Yeah, I've become allergic to them somehow, and it closes my throat, and I really struggle to breathe after eating chilies, or even if it's being cooked in the air. I can really feel it, and I really struggle to breathe. I always know when I've pissed Sarah off because she's always cooking with chilies when I get in from work.
Outliner said, "My dad used to eat black pudding, don't know if he still does." And Michelle Simpson said, "I'm ex-signal." And Stan said, "All seafood, I'm allergic to seafood of any kind." Simon Mitchner said, if you think of a lot of foodstuff, you have to wonder who pushed the idea red kidney beans, poisonous unless soaked for around 20 hours. Anyone want to be the 2nd, 3rd, 10th to try? Alan Howard said, "Black pudding, another food from the northeast England. Pig's blood, herbs and spices, nice on a full English breakfast." Vinny said, "Just to help you out, I've just ordered a chicken and egg from eBay. I will let you know, Tony."
Was that 66 people in the car?
And Raymond said, "For years I convinced my daughter that calamari was onion rings. She was about 17 when I finally came clean. Fortunately, she forgave me." Ibby said, "There's a Stanley Park back in Vancouver. It's the jewel of the city and huge. almost closed it one summer due to high risk of forest fires and huge concerns it could all be lost if a fire started it. And Mark Tyler said, the only things I won't eat is garlic and peppers.
Ooh. We have a lot of garlic in this house. A lot of garlic. Quite a lot of peppers as well, really.
And this time of year, quite a lot of tomatoes.
Yeah.
Because that's what we've been growing, and they're all nice and ready to pick. And Iceby, aka P77 Ice, said, can also get a white pudding too. Wouldn't eat either. Yuck. And Stephen Ollie said, we are lucky that our daughter has moved to Scarborough. When we go to the chippy and ask for a large fish tea, you get 2 large bits of fish for the price of one. Shame it's a 300-mile trip up from Surrey. So I've got a friend who was in Scarborough this weekend actually watching Will Smith. Apparently he got an open air theatre. Said it was lovely there. That's a long old way away that your daughter moved to, Stephen. Simon Mitchener to Iceby, aka P77 Ice, said, I always assumed white pudding came from anemics. And Pretzel the Elephant said, bacon and black pudding sandwich for breakfast, yum. And Iceby, aka P77 Ice, did some laughing faces. And Michelle Simpson said, I think we all need to go out for dinner. I must admit, Michelle, my stomach's rumbling.
That'd be a big table if we all went out together.
Raymond just said, bloody big table. Great minds. Whereabouts are we coming up to on this now, Tone?
I don't know, I haven't really been paying attention. I've been reading the messages at the same time. We've still got quite a long way to go. It's still just under an hour to get back to Hackbridge.
Oh, excuse me, everybody. Michelle Simpson said, been to Scarborough once for a murder mystery weekend. And Alan Howard said, I was on a course in 1993. A lad who was on the same course used to travel 70 miles just to get fish and chips. Would you do that, Tony?
No.
Would you do that for pie and mash, though?
maybe steak and kidney pudding.
Simon Mitchener said, a chef at one of my local coffee shops did a lovely macaroni cheese with bits of black pudding on the top. Very nice. And Stan said, tonight I will be having chicken tikka masala and egg fried rice. Yummy. I could eat a Chinese tonight, but I probably won't. Vinnie M said, if we said we will all go out for tea, half of you would miss out. Ibby said, all this talk of pudding reminds me of Reggie Perrin at Sunshine Desserts and having meetings with the boss, CJ. There again, I didn't get where I am today by remembering old comedies. Great, super. Simon Mitchener to Michelle said, the mystery being why anyone went to Scarborough. And Iceby, aka P77 Ice, said, I remember Scarborough being one of my favourite places as a kid. We went to Bridlington, not quite as far up as Scarborough. I don't think we really liked it there.
Yeah, it's nice beach there, really nice beach.
Yeah. Jono said, my mum used to make suet pudding and custard in the early 70s, early 80s. Then I found out what suet was as a teenager.
Yeah.
Yuck. The outliner said, my son and I love eating sushi. Anyone else?
Yeah, I don't mind a bit of sushi.
And Liam Reeves said, I can only assume that everyone watching is hungry right now.
Yeah.
I think you're probably right there, Liam.
I'm getting hungry now, keep talking about food.
Can I sip of your drink, please, Tom? Thank you. Iceby, aka P77 Ice, said Bridlington and Skegness are excellent. Simon Mitchener said to Liam Reeve, I am hungry for sure, just thinking about breakfast. And Raymond said, nice fares in Scarborough. Tony said he's just gone off to get another drink, but I've a funny feeling he's gone to check out the fridge. He's probably getting peckish. Michelle Simpson said, can't do sushi. Maybe sushi's a bit like Marmite. Probably either love it or hate it. The outliner said, Iceby, I love it in Skegness. Simon Mitchener just said to the outliner, is it bracing in Skegness?
I'm back.
And Raymond said, caution, in France you don't get 2 eggs with your brekkie, apparently one's an earth. Very good, Raymond. And Iceby, aka P77 Ice, has done the peace sign. Alan Howard said, my dear ma'am, who died in 2007, used to make lovely pies, bread and cakes. Wish she was still here, miss her every day. Oh. Michelle Simpson said, don't do Marmite either. And Laura Biden Citizen said, pizza, what's your toppings? Pineapple and sweet corn is mine.
Ooh.
That's not a pizza.
No, you're in a minority there.
Simon Mitchener said, laugh out loud, Raymond. Go to your room, for that's a terrible yoke. Kel said, my dentist has a poster on the wall saying Skegness is bracing. And the outliner said to Simon, I don't live in Skegness, unfortunately, I'm in Leicester. And Alan Howard said, you're back, Tony, I'm front, laugh out loud. And Michelle Simpson's auntie did a lovely trifle. And Ibby said, I seem to recall from my childhood days that Grassington is near Bridlington, as is Patley Bridge, and there's the hill of Pennygent. And Alan Howard said, what is the Aussie version of Marmite called?
Don't know.
Is it Vegemite?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the same. I don't know if it's as powerful
it's
as
not.
Marmite.
I don't think it is. It is nice, but it's not that good. Not as good as Marmite.
Iceby, aka P77 Ice, said ham, pineapple and pepperoni is a top pizza. And Simon Mitchener said, Kel, yes, it was a famous poster with a cartoon fisherman skipping along the beach as a tourist thing some years ago. And Michelle Simpson said pizza topping was our last topic of conversation. It was indeed, on Friday. It was Friday, wasn't it? Yeah. Mark Challoner said Vegemite. That's what I was thinking, Mark. And Jono said, we go on holiday from Bognor to Skegness. The fish and chips taste better up there for some reason, plus it's cheap. And Simon to Alan Howard said Vegemite. And the outliner said to Law, I'm with you on the pizza front with pineapple, but I like ham with pineapple. Stan said, I tried Vegemite once, it was disgusting, I threw it out. Ibby said, where was that famous Hovis ad filmed with the steep cobbled street? I was almost expecting the loaf to fall and roll all the way back down the hill. Alan said, it is Vegemite, and pizza topping for me is ham and pineapple.
This food is making me feel hungry.
Keep your eyes on the road.
I know. So the different parts of the country that we all live in, how much is it a pint in your local? There's another question for you, because that varies such a lot up and down the country. Down here in London, you're looking anywhere, depending on where you go, from anywhere from about £5 to about £7.50, aren't you? For a pint, 1 pint.
What about a glass of wine? And Simon Mitchner to Ibby said that was Golden Hill in Shaftesbury, I believe. And Mark Challoner said Gold Hill, Shaftesbury in Dorset. Oh, it's Auntie Trevor back. Evening all. Sorry I'm late, but had to make a cuppa. Auntie Trev, you'll be off to make a sandwich in a minute. It's all food talk tonight. Making everyone hungry. Mary Dermond said holistic advert was Gold Hill in Shaftesbury. Simon Mitchner to Raymond said, as you should. Pretzel the Elephant said, depending on drink, £5 to £7.30. And M3D 1807 said £2 to £5 a pint.
Where do you live? I've got to know where you live. £2 to £5.
Is that a spoon's price?
Yes, Witherspoons is decent. As in price-wise, I mean.
Alan Howard said, not sure the price of a pint in Geordieland. I'm a teetotaler, I don't drink. And Laura Biding Citizen said, find a burger van, Tony, get a cheeseburger with bacon and egg. And Michelle Simpson said, lager in my place of work is £4.60.
See, that's not a bad price. I mean, I don't know if you can get it for that down here anymore.
And Ibby said, yes, Golden Hill, thank you, welcome to Dorset. And Auntie Trev said, haha, don't tempt me. And M3D 1807 said, my secret, about £2 pint. And Ibby said, I don't drink either. Iceby, aka P77 Ice, said about a £5 in Leeds. And Michelle Simpson said double Jack and Coke, £7.
See, that's good. That's a good price for JD and Coke.
The outliner said beer £1.99 and up, wine £1.98 and up.
Okay, what year is that? What year are you talking? I mean, sometimes you can get a cheap pint if you're in a club. I mean, an old working man's club, not a nightclub, of sort of under a £5. But it's gone crazy price, and they wonder why everyone drinks at home.
Laura Biding Citizen said last pint I paid for was 79p back in the 1980s. Simon Mitchner said I still wince when I have to add money to a £5 when paying for a pint.
Yeah.
Michelle Simpson said double gin and tonic £8.30, double gin and lemonade £6.50. And outliner said that's today's prices.
Wow.
Michelle Simpson said I'd love to serve you, Tony.
On the house, would it be?
The outliner said Wetherspoons. Yeah, I thought that might be.
Yeah.
Especially when you get their meals with a drink included.
Yeah.
I've recently discovered. Simon Mitchner said the outliner to the outliner, is that on the Isle of Wight as they're still back in the 1970s?
Trouble is, most of the time now you pay with your card now, because it's you'd have to take up such a wad of money to have a good old session with the prices of them. You have to, your wallet is going to be bulging, not when you get home. So you pay with your card.
Alan Howard said, I used to go for a drink. I packed it in 1988 when I was 20. Got sick of it. The price then was about 45p a pint. The outliner said to Simon, "We're in Leicester, but not in the city centre." And Fred said, "Who remembers the Skinner's Arms, Queen's Egg and the Goat?" All local to Carshall, Hackbridge, Bitcham area, I believe, Fred.
Yep.
And Michelle Simpson said, "Yes, I'd buy you a vodka, Tony." Ibby said, "When I was a lot younger, decades ago, the tiniest drink and I was well away. I'd start doing impersonations of friends and colleagues as well as famous people. Folks would come from miles to see this." So a hidden talent there that came out, I guess, Ibby.
We've got now 66, 65, just gone down to.
Can you remember where this is? Do you recognise this road, Tone?
Well, it's the A21 still, so.
Where would we have been about now, do you think?
Well, we're about an hour and 7 minutes in. I don't know. I should have got a map really. I should have done a little bit more research and done some, put some notes down on this because I haven't been paying attention. I've been reading the comments and not looking at the road.
Kel in Southend said around £7.50. I used to work on the seafront many years ago and bitter was £1 and lager £1.20. Raymond said where I worked we had a subsidised bar back in 1982. A G&T or a pint cost about 47p.
Oh. Those were the days, eh? I think when I started it was just under a pound for a pint. Yeah, a pint just under a pound. But now, no chance.
So I was trying to work out that road sign. Would that look like a motorway coming up? It wouldn't be the M25, would it?
It might be. To be honest, I haven't been looking at the screen. I've just been looking at the message board. If it is the M25, it's like, why are you moving out? I can't see it big enough. I think it is though.
Michelle Simpson said, "Anyone remember bring bottles back to the bar and you'd get some money back?"
Yeah, we used to do that for the off-licence, Corona, lemonade and all that sort of stuff years ago. You had to bring your bottle back and they would give you money off your next bottle.
I remember going to the off-licence when I was at school and asking for any empty bottles of, I think it was Mattias Rosé or Frascati in a fancy shaped bottle so that we could make lamp stands with them. That was a thing. And also, you know, putting candles in to let the candle wax melt down. Yeah, but you could go into an off licence and ask for the bottles.
Yeah. Now we are going to be coming on to the M25 now.
IceB aka P77 I said late 80s I remember getting 10 cigs for 70 pence. And Ibby said at Folkestone Harbour Arm it was only today that I realised there were many eateries all along the entire length and not just the central bit. Yeah, there's loads there now.
Yeah.
Loads and loads there. Some, well, the majority on the Harbour Arm look out nicely to see as well.
The ones we've used down there have been really good. We've not really had a bad meal down there, have we?
No.
It's been really good.
There's one now that looks like a big yellow container and they do really nice breakfasts and brunches. Let's not get controversial now, but you can look right out to sea. It's really lovely. The outliner said My mum remembers doing that with the Corona bottles to the pop man who used to come round the streets.
Yeah.
And Jono said in Bognor for a pint it's London prices unless it's a spoons. But Archie's in Chapel at Leonard's near Skegness is £2.70 a pint from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. You can get drunk on 20 quid. Michelle Simpson said Hooch is making a comeback.
It's a bit sweet, Hooch, for me. It's alright, one maybe, but couldn't drink that sort of thing all night. It's really sweet.
Kel said I started smoking at school and I could get 5 Black Cat and a folder of matches for my dinner money, which was 12.5p. Ibby said Canada has a return it program for bottle deposits. When you buy a bottled drink, you're initially charged a bottle levy and can get it back when you recycle. Pretzel the Elephant said lemon hooch was banging. I remember we had a friend who used to say, you'd laugh at someone having hooch until they'd say, yeah, I want a shandy made with hooch, and then they were like, oh right, okay. Liam Reeves said, talking about food and now talking about drink, what's next, Auntie Trev said, I'm the lucky one. I had a bad drink problem on my 22nd birthday and gave up the booze. I have been teetotal now for 53 years. I think of the money I've saved, laugh out loud. Auntie Trev, it's probably saved your life as well too, mate. Well done you. 53 years, that is amazing.
Yeah.
Really, fantastic.
I did 53 minutes last night.
Well,
For a little while.
Ibby said it's not a live drive and only the chat is live.
Yep.
And Michelle Simpson said a customer told me once that he paid £35 for 2 pints of Guinness. Dear oh dear.
Yeah.
Was he drunk? Alan Howard said, who remembers Buckfast cider? I had mates who drank that.
I mean, back in the day, it was either Strongbow or Woodpecker. When I was a kid, you used to be able to buy it in the off licence, and I mean buy it when we were about 13, 14 years old. We used to be able to go in there, I think it was about 40p, 45p, and they always used to serve us. We were obviously underage. They always served us the drink. A bit stricter nowadays.
Mark Challoner said, how is it that when a baby drinks a bottle and falls asleep it's cute, but when I do it apparently I'm an alcoholic?
It's not on though. I do the same. What we got here? We got 59 people in the car. Jumped up 62 people in the car now. According to what we're watching it on.
And no bad drivers so far on this journey.
We had 2, but because I didn't put any notes in, I haven't pointed them out. I should have pointed them out and showed you it really.
Alan Howard to Michelle said £35 for 2 pints of asphalt or tarmac, bit extreme.
You should try some of the London hotels, or some of the posh London hotels, if they let you in to have a pint, or if they sell pints. The prices of them places is just crazy.
Michelle Simpson said, my husband loves a bottle of Western cider. And Simon Mitchiner to Mark Challoner said, gripe water for babies used to contain alcohol. Michelle Simpson said, they were at a concert in London, Alan. Oh right, yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Another thing that I found out, which probably most people know, that when you ever go to a concert or a gig, you pay extortionate rates even for water. I think I was at the O2 the year before last, and a bottle of water, I think it was either $3.50 or a £5. But little tip, just ask for tap water and they give you that free. Let's see. The one for a snake bite?
Don't mind. I don't mind that, to be honest. A snake bite.
And Alan Howard said, who's correct? It was Michelle Elvis Presley's Laugh Out Loud. Ibby said, in Canada, can't buy alcohol in a supermarket, only a government-run liquor store. You also can't have open liquor in public except a licensed establishment, such as a restaurant or bar. Raymond said, hang on, so this ain't a live drive?
No, it's the drive is recorded. We are talking to you live, obviously, but the only way we could do it with getting you a decent picture is to record a drive unedited. We're not trying to hide anything that we're driving or anything like that. You get to see the whole thing from start to finish without me skipping something if I make a mistake or anything like that. But you get a better picture than me using a phone or some sort of device, because we've always got to try and get signal, and where we are at the moment we would be struggling to get signal, and it would keep fading out, it would be fuzzy. It's just not really good viewing doing it that way.
And Jono said, Tony, do you remember Party 7s from the off licence?
Oh yeah do I. What these I do believe.
And Michelle Simpson to Alan said it was Metallica, Alan. And Pretzel the Elephant to the outliner said, yes please. That was about a snake bite.
Yeah.
Ibby said, no, not a live drive. I think there's a number of folks that aren't aware of this. And Ibby just clarified, only the chat is live. Simon Mitchner to Jono said, sadly yes, but not old enough to remember Watney's Red Barrel.
Yeah, it wasn't great, not really, but it was all right. It was cheap.
And M3D 1807 said, one of the best things about living above the Midlands, things are cheaper. And Raymond said, anyone remember half a cider, half lager with a schooner of creme de menthe tip dropped in? We used to call it a depth charger.
Yeah, I've seen them. I've never had one.
Michelle said, anyone have a larger dash, and do you prefer it on the top or the bottom? And Alan Howard said, a snake bite, wasn't that cider and lemonade? And Michelle said, no, cider and lager.
What, a lager dash? What was that?
Oh yeah, lager dash, not larger dash.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a lager top, isn't it? But a lot of people put it in before you put the lager in. Supposed to take the gas out of the lager or something. I've never done it. I don't see the point in putting a bit of lemonade in the lager, but it's supposed to stop the lager being so bubbly.
Raymond to Ibby said, illusion shattered. Ibby said, in the past I believe it was live.
It was live, yeah, but reviewing it, and we did have a couple where the signal just completely went, and no one could hear us. We couldn't show you anything, and we had to cancel the drive halfway through. Then we had one where the phone just overheated, and we couldn't do it at all, and we hadn't even gone that far, and the phone just overheated. The phone's working overtime. Remember, it's filming, and it's going out to YouTube as well. The phone is working really, really hard, and they just overheat. So this is the only way really we can give you a nice picture, shall we say. I mean, maybe I need to change the title and not call it live drive, just call it drive with live chat or something, or something else. But
maybe ask if people prefer the actual live drive with chat, even though the picture quality might not be as good.
Yeah, but then if the phone overheats and it conks out, and then we run out of signal and it conks out again, then everyone's sort of there ready, and we we're not, showing them anything.
Alan thanked Michelle. He wasn't sure about the drink because he's a teetotaler. And Simon Mitchener said to Raymond, the only reason to remember one of your depth charges is to be sure you don't order one again. Raymond said, doesn't snakebite have a splash of blackcurrant too? That's what I was thinking, Raymond.
It can do, yeah, it can do.
Stephen Ollie said, myself and my wife don't drink, but the price of tea or hot chocolate can be the same price of a pint out now. Yeah, you're totally right there, Stephen. Kel said, paid £4.75 for a small smoothie today in Leon C. Remember lager and lime being a thing in the 90s, said Iceby aka P77 Ice. And Pretzel the Elephant said coffee is ridiculous prices. Michelle Simpson said lager dash's lemonade is on the bottom, a lager top is the lemonade on the top. There is a preference, top is better, so I'm told by my customers. Alan Howard said, for everybody who's interested, Conquer Drive-In has uploaded a new video, but watch this first. Tony and Sarah are the most important to watch. Oh, thanks, Alan. X-Signal said, I've only ever had snakebite consisting of lager and cider, no blackcurrant, but I'm a northerner, so who knows. And Michelle Simpson said, I'm a barmaid, Alan, it's my job to know, laugh out loud. Kel said, in our pub it was an option, snakebite or snakebite and black.
Yeah, it is preference, isn't it? If you like a little bit of sweet stuff in there.
So it looks like you've still got 61 people in the car, all very hungry and all very thirsty probably
Yeah,
now.
we are indeed.
Mark Challoner said, I like it this way, although it can probably scare people who don't know when you say, just going to get a drink, back in a mo. They might think you've just let go of the steering wheel. That's really funny, Mark. I didn't think of that. Ibby said, 40 Towers Waldorf salad episode, the American ordering a screwdriver for him and his wife. Basil said, so 2 screwdrivers and forget about the drinks. By the way, in real life, the American was a Canadian. Iceby aka P77 Ice said, yeah, got 2 coffees and they came to £6.50 and they weren't that good. Raymond said to Kel, was that in the Broadway or down the old town? We should invite Tony and Sarah to lunch if they're prepared to brave the AE13. Kel said, if one of us was on map duty, we used to tell them we had to run out of blackcurrant. Oh, sorry, if one of us was on mop duty, we used to tell them we'd run out of blackcurrant. Where's the A13 then? What part of the world is that?
That's Essex way, I do believe, isn't it? It goes into London, but
From Southend, maybe?
yeah, from it goes across the M25 sort of thing as well, I do believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Michelle Simpson said, have you heard of a Mickey Mouse drink, Tony?
No. What's that one? What's in that?
And Alan Howard to Michelle said, I was watching the old EastEnders where Sam and Ricky eloped to Scotland. Sam's mum ordered a gin and pink. What on earth is that? Kel said, I worked in the Minerva on the seafront by the Kersal. Long gone now. So we're just coming into sort of Causden, Hoodie way. There's that big Starbucks coffee place that probably earns a fortune. We've just gone by on the right hand side.
I think the trouble is the rents on these places are so ridiculous that they have to find it somehow, so they make us all pay ridiculous prices for these coffees.
Simon Mitchener to Alan Howard said, I think the pink is Angostura bitters. Yeah, this is Hooley now that we're going through. Raymond to Kel said, I remember the Minerva, just. I guess that must have been a pub or club in that area, maybe. Michelle Simpson said, Mickey Mouse is half lager and half bitter.
Okay. Someone who can't make up their mind, isn't it, what they want? That one. We've got 63 people in the car with us. We'll be coming down into Croydon sort of area-ish in a little while.
And Kel just said the A13 runs London to Shoeburyness. Thank you for that, Kel.
Shoeburyness, never been there.
No.
Not I know of.
Looked like one of those motorway or road cafes that we just went by on the right side of the road. I wonder if Stan's ever ordered a egg and bacon sandwich from there before, or an egg and bacon roll.
I think it's a car wash place now.
Kel said, Raymond, if you were served by a stroppy barmaid, it was probably me. The outliner said 63, 3 have just bumped out, laugh out loud.
Yep, they have, down to 60.
Michelle said a bottle of Newcastle is also known as a bottle of dog.
I've never heard it called that before.
Raymond said, I like the way Tony spoke about the A13. Do you think you could say it with any more disdain?
It's got a bad reputation, isn't it, the A13?
Alan Howard said, would you ever do a video of the full circuit of the M25, Tony? Make an interesting watch to see how bad it really is.
Could do. Can't get lost, can I?
Ibby said, maybe call these Premiere of Drive from the ABC to the XYZ and put in the description an explanation of the setup plus mention at the beginning. Just a suggestion, it's your channel and it's entirely up to you.
Yeah. I think the title's wrong, calling it a live drive now. There used to be proper live drives, didn't they? But can't do it like that anymore.
Iceby, aka P77, I said, just know it's a Nuki Brown.
Yeah, I've heard it called that before.
So I think we're coming up to Coulsdon now.
Yeah, Coulsdon train station to the right hand side. Not far from here is where I had my little incident with the Kia garage that messed me about quite a lot.
Michelle Simpson said, when the husband says to the wife, I'm going to see a man about a dog, he's really going to the pub for a bottle of Newcastle.
Right.
Oh, I see. And Alan Howard said, yeah, do that as a video, Tony. See how many pointless roadworks and idiots there are on the M25. And Raymond said, Kel, oddly enough, most of the barmaids that served me were stroppy.
Does anyone know how far the M25 is all the way round? How many miles that is?
We know Richmond Park is 7.5, isn't it?
So, yeah, about that.
But you can't drive all the way round there now, can you?
No, you can't drive around Richmond Park. Not all the way round it. people making too many shortcuts through it. I'm sure that's the only reason why.
Raymond said, Michelle, that's correct. And when he says just going for a quick pint, he means a skinful. Stan said, 105 miles.
Is it? I thought it was more than that, to be honest.
And Big Davy said, clockwise or anti-clockwise? Alan Howard said, I think the M25 is 117 miles full route. Not too sure though. Ibby said, re the M25, there was the driver who said they didn't realise there were 2 Clackett services on the M25. You've guessed it, they did a whole lap without realising.
Oh, God.
Gary Moore said 174-ish. Michelle Simpson said, I'm not stroppy, laugh out loud, I'm the best. Raymond said, isn't the M25 about 125 miles all the way round?
Someone's going to Google it in a minute, and they put it up.
And Stan said 117. Simon Mitchener said the M25 is around 37 miles, if you know the shortcut. Ibby said, read the M25, just don't try shortening the distance by driving in the outside lane clockwise the entire way.
And it would cost me £2.50 to do the video as well, for going over the Queen Elizabeth bridge or going under the tunnel. I'm pretty sure it's still £2.50. Even though we've paid for it a million times over, we're still paying for it.
And Stan said, according to Google, that's the 117 miles.
Okay.
Alan Howard said, just Googled it, Tony. Driving around the M25 motorway typically takes between 2 to 3 hours. And Stan said the M25 is 188 kilometres, which is 117 miles long, orbital motorway around London. And Gary Moore says Google says 116.8 miles. And Michelle said, I had an idea to find out who got the worst Audi by making a viewer compilation of Audi clips. Then we vote the worst in the comments. X Signal said 116.8 miles is my guess. Alan Howard said, I was bang on about the distance, 117 miles. Kel said, hey Michelle, you are a professional bar person. I was a stroppy student. Still the best job I ever had though. Simon Mitchener said to Ibby, driving in the outside line would not shorten the distance that much.
No, there's quite a lot of road restrictions as well on the M25, as in speed limits and all that sort of stuff. So you can't even do the 70 round there in a lot of places now. But I don't know what the time was they said on there, the average going round it was, but that's, I think it's quite the lower part of it is quite a long way out, because that'd take a long time to go round the M25, depending on what time you did it, obviously, and what day you did it.
Raymond said, I recall there's a challenge to do the M25 in an hour.
Without breaking the speed limit. There's a lot of cameras on the M25 now as well, remember.
Michelle Simpson said, it's the best job, Kel. I meet lots of people from all walks of life and have a laugh. And Stan said, I remember Maggie saying that when the tunnel bridge were paid for, the tolls would be taken off. That went well.
Yeah, but they just, taking away the tolls, but you're still paying for it.
Stephen Ollie said 114 miles, spent too much time on that, being an ex-lorry driver. They also have closed the entrance to Bushy Park. Ibby said the M25 part at the Dartford crossing is actually an A road. This is to allow vehicles normally forbidden on motorways to continue over the crossing rather than having to take a long diversion. And Pretzel the Elephant said the worst part of the M25 is Heathrow.
Yeah, it can be quite bad round there near the M40 and the M4. But there are other sections as well. The A3 is really bad because of the roadworks there at the moment, and there are a few other places. The Dartford Tunnel, Queen Elizabeth Bridge, they're quite bad as well most of the time.
Alan Howard said, for me, driving from the A10 at Enfield to the Bignells Junction, Junction 23 on the M25 was bad enough. Nothing but traffic. And Gary Moore said, 1 hour, not legally.
Nowhere. I mean, yeah. I mean, it takes us probably about 10 miles to get to the M25 to where we live, ish, I'd say, and then 117 miles around it. It's quite a long drive, isn't it, that?
Raymond said, Pretzel, the worst part of the M25 is the M25.
Yeah.
And Simon Mitchner said to Raymond, was about to say the same thing. Ibby said, I've seen cameras flash for the opposite carriageway and think the driver is going to get a friendly letter in the post within 14 days.
Yeah, I've seen plenty of flashes.
And Raymond's just said, Gary, no, not legally at all.
Do a bit of cannonball running round there.
Stan said, I remember driving around London in my lorry before the M25.
Before the M25, wow.
And we're just in the Woodcote Green area now.
We ain't got that long left because we're almost in Hackbridge. I think we've got about 10 minutes left, maybe less than that, before the video runs out.
Michelle said, before I passed my test, I was in a taxi where the driver told me he had to do a driving test to check his driving standard. Have you heard of that before? Michelle said, before I passed my test, I was in a taxi where the driver told me he had to do a driving test to check his driving standard. Have you heard of that before?
To be a taxi driver, yeah, they do have to do a depending on where you are though, every different city has different rules for their taxis. They do have to do a driver assessment, does our taxi drivers in London. Private hire drivers don't though, funnily enough, although I did, because from where I got my car from, I had to do a driver assessment before they let me buy the car off of them, and I did a driving assessment with them in a Prius of all things. Oh God, I've struggled to get in it. It's so small. I struggled my head was over the top of the visors. It was sort of like a duck to see road signs, and I had the seat as far back as it went and as far low down as it went. Horrible car, not very nice to drive. Sorry if you've got a Toyota Prius.
Alan Howard said, for anyone who doesn't know Bignells Junction, it's the M25 A1 junction at South Mims. Horrible junction. The Outlier said, I love it when you're at the A3 turn off.
Train will be good to see him on that though. You know,
Gary Moore said, M25 gridlocks are usually the M3 to M40 both ways and Clackett to Godstone westbound.
I don't know how that's. We're talking in the car. That normally don't happen. It don't normally come out. Put it that way. Sorry.
Gary Moore said, M25 gridlocks are usually the M3 to the M40 both ways and Clackett to Godstone westbound. Ibby said, when you exit the M25 and onto the M40, it's suddenly like a racetrack as there are no cameras at all on the M40. There are, however, unmarked cars. Auntie Trev said, are you stopping at Lidl on your way home, Tony?
No, we're not, but the video does stop around that area. Just as we drive past the Lidl, that's when it actually stops. So if you know the area, you'll know where it stops. It just by Hackbridge train station is where the video stops.
And we've just gone by another Lidl on your left.
Yeah.
The Wallington one. Simon Mitchner said to Stan, I remember coming back from Durham on the Yamaha 200 and went the wrong way round the North Circular before the M25 and managing to lose the route and feeling horribly lost at night. Raymond said about 10 minutes left. Well, I've really enjoyed this live drive that wasn't actually live. It's the Codro and Calamari all over again. Alan Howard said, I'd love to own a Gen 3 Toyota Prius, beautiful car. Gary Moore said, Chinky or Indian for tea tonight, plus Lidl. Ibby said, I can hear your actual chat of the drive at the time. And he said, I was hoping you'd stop at an Audi. Always an Audi. That gentleman's not crossing the road as he should.
No, not really.
Michelle said, can we celebrate that kids go back to school the week after next?
Is it already that quick? Where did that go?
Where's the summer gone?
Yeah, you got to remember, this is straight after the last live drive that we did. We literally had lunch in Hastings and then literally jumped back in the car and finished this. So we've been in the car for almost like 4 hours, 5 hours doing this drive. So we didn't go to Lidl because we were too tired to get there. We just wanted to get home.
Auntie Trev said, haha, likely story, Tony. And Raymond said, Tony, hypothetical, if you were in East London and going to Heathrow, how do you go, over or under the M25?
Over? Well, you'd go on the. I don't know. Oh, it's gonna. The video's gonna stop here in a minute. As we just gone past the Lidl, and then you get the titles here. So the video's gonna end up stopping here. But the M25, I'll just literally get on it and go round it to Heathrow, I think.
Simon Mitchner said to Michelle, no, I live by a school. The outliner said to Michelle, I start back tomorrow, my son on Friday. I'm a midday supervisor. Jono asked if Wallington Public Hall is still there. And no, it isn't, Jono. I'm pretty sure it's flapped now. Michelle Simpson said they go back to 2nd of September in your area. Ice-B, aka P77, I said, my best memory of the M25 is the speed of the drivers. I learned don't move into the outside lane if you're not prepared to do over 100 miles an hour. And Alan Howard said Gateshead and Newcastle will be bad at rush hour. Central Motorway, Timebridge Roadworks and Gateshead Flyover all fully closed, all within less than a mile of each other. And Paul Chapman said to Sarah and Tony, there's a Weatherspoons in Kingston. They do a very nice fish and chips. I know where that is, Paul, but I haven't been there yet. Ib said, I'm celebrating the fact I've finished hundreds of hours of leukemia treatment and got rid of cancer, but extremely upset beyond words at losing my mum to her starefall. You've had a horrible time, Ibby, but really glad that you're getting on the mend, I hope. Alan Howard said, bye everybody, enjoyed this. Raymond said, nice fade out, and bye Alan. Ice-B, aka P77 Ice, is waving bye-bye. Auntie Trev said, great journey guys, good night. Good night Auntie Trev, thanks for joining again. And Alan Howard said, bye Ray. And Pretzel the Elephant said, have a good night. Oh, can't wait for the next one.
Okay guys, we're going to have to leave it there. Thanks a lot for watching everyone, and we will catch you on the next one.
Bye.
Bye for now.